first mobility exercise for today is called a Spider-Man. In the sports world, it's called a Spider-Man stretch. In Yin Yoga, it's called a dragon. In Hatha Yoga, it's called a high lunge. The preliminary for this stretch is downward facing dog. So if you haven't learned downward facing dog yet, there's a lesson on downward facing dog in the push-up progressions video. It's in the preliminary, so the basics should be the first clip on our YouTube channel under that playlist. So we begin in downward facing dog. Push the hips back and up. Left leg reaches back into a dog tail. You bring the left foot forward outside of the left little finger. This is your primary position. This is the Spider-Man position. This is the dragon position. Now, in this position, your back leg, which is the right leg in this case, you need to reach through that back foot, stiffening up the front of the thigh. Your hands press into the floor, slide your shoulder blades down your back. Now you're in the full expression of the posture. You make this an active movement by touching the back knee down, keeping that right hip pressed forward to the floor. A lot of people, when they touch their knee down, they let their hips travel back, and that releases the hip flexor stretch. You don't want to do that. So, long right leg, touch, and up. When you come up, develop tension in the front of your quadricep. Touch, and up. You repeat that about 5 to 10 times before you move on to the next stretch. The next stretch is a modified pyramid. We're going to get that lead leg hamstring. From here, the back leg remains locked. Push the hips back and up like a downward dog. Develop tension in front of the quadricep. Spiral the knee in. Spiraling the knee in activates your groin. Once you have a stretch, move out of it back to the full posture. Chest up, right leg's locked. Press back, forward, back, forward. Moving into the stretch, moving out of the stretch. Now, the next is thoracic mobility. Your right hand moves towards the center line of your body. Inhale, reach for the sky. Exhale, back down. Inhale, exhale. Maintaining tension in that back leg, keeping your chest long. Inhale, eyes look to the thumb of the left hand. Exhale. For more of a challenge, you can go into a lizard position. If you can't get there, bypass that part and build up to it. But for right now, your lizard position, your right leg stays off the ground, elbows to the floor, as if you're doing a plank. If you have some discomfort in this hip, you may have an anterior hip impingement. So come see us in the athletic training room and we'll do an eval on you and see if we can get you on some corrective exercise. A way to bypass the stress on this hip is to turn your toe up, move your knee out to the side. However, you want to build up to being able to keep the knee close, which is a function of the deep tissues in this hip joint. So in your lizard position, forearms on the floor like you're doing a plank, your right leg is nice and stiff. Reaching back through that right foot, you hold. Move your right elbow to center line, reach for the sky. Hold. After you've held, place your right knee on the ground, reach back and grab your ankle. Turn the left shoulder up to the sky. Press your right hip towards the floor. Release. Come back up to the Spider-Man position. Press back into downward facing dog. Right leg backing up. Bring the right foot outside of the right hand. Stiffen up the left leg now. Chest forward, shoulders down. Touch the knee. Squeeze the quadricep. Touch the knee. Squeeze the quadricep 5 to 10 times. Push the hips back. Straightening the right leg. Spiraling the thigh in. Back to the full expression of the Spider-Man. Back. Forward. When you come forward, don't get sloppy and drop. Keep that knee locked out. Left hand, right hand to the sky. Back down to your Spider-Man. 5 to 10 of those. Now, lizard position. Elbows to the floor. leg locked, chest projected forward. Right hand to the sky for a hold. Left knee to the floor. Grab the ankle, right shoulder to the sky. Press the left hip down towards the floor. Back to Spider-Man. A couple of things. Disciplining the tension in the quadricep of that back leg is what develops the mobility in your hip. When people feel how uncomfortable this exercise is at first, they slack. They drop their knee down, they move their hands all around. You gotta ride the storm, okay? You have to focus on making your breath smooth. When you enter a stretch and it's uncomfortable and it's difficult, you tend to either hold your breath or breathe really heavy. You know, it's a very stressed breathing pattern. Make a conscious effort to smooth your breath. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the nose. Make the inhale and the exhale long and relax every time you exhale. Consciously relax. A lot of the tension that we hold in our stretches comes from our mind. If we relax our mind, our muscles will relax. We'll be able to go into the full postures easier and easier. It won't be such a struggle. That's why you ride the storm on. The thing with these stretches, keep them moving. Mobility is a function of the nervous system. So we have to move into a position, move out, keeping that nervous system active, as opposed to holding a stretch tends to deaden the nervous system, for lack of a better term. Research has shown that holding a stretch leads to weakness, you know, if you're going to perform right afterwards. So make this like a warm-up. Move, move, move. Move with your breath. Let your breathing dictate the pace of the movement. Don't bounce your knee up and down 5 times, but rather lift your knee off the ground with an inhalation. As you exhale, let your knee touch the ground. When you're ready to inhale again, lift your knee again. A nice slow flow with your breathing will dictate your movement. So you're not rushing through the exercise, but you're still keeping the body active. That last position, the lizard position, is a very advanced position. You need to build up to it. This position, when you grab your leg, is very painful in that right quadricep. It's a very deep, intense stretch. So begin by holding it for a short period of time, and then build up the period of time. You're going to notice that with time, that quadricep releases. And then you, all of a sudden, you have all this mobility that you can use in your strength training. So give this a try. You can use this as a warm-up. Find a corner of a gym. It doesn't take too much space. Everything's done in one area. And it's a pretty effective stretch. But the secret is consistency and practice. You have to do it multiple times a week for months to be able to own it.